Ev, do you want to dance? Evan turned to his wife and raised his eyebrows questioningly. Katerina smiled warmly and nodded. Only then did he stand up and turn to face Miri. Certainly. He extended his hand. Miri took it and followed him to the dance floor. The song was slow, so Evan took her right hand in his left and placed his right hand on her thigh. He moved confidently, and Miri easily followed his example. He was tall and broad-shouldered. She was shorter and slimmer, but they had a lot of dance practice. She looked at his face. So beautiful. A full head of wavy dark hair, now graying at the temples. Thick eyebrows and large, deep-set brown eyes. His long nose was slightly crooked, and there was a thin scar on his chin under his full lips. She stared into his eyes, wanting them to look at her, but he looked over her upturned face, his features completely neutral. "Thank you for coming to dance with me," she finally said. He nodded. "Certainly. Bradley looks so handsome, doesn't he? Without a doubt, he looks so much like you. This is creepy. Well, I'm his father. And he looked exactly like you did on our wedding day." Evan led them across the dance floor, not paying attention to her words. She sighed. "I already told you how sorry I am, Ev. I hope that now your kindness would extend to me. You have a new wife, and the children tell me that you are very happy. Why are you still punishing me?" "I'm not punishing you. You are a friend with whom I have a common history and 2 children. I'm polite to you, as I am to everyone I know. What more do you want, Miriam?" He had never called her by her full name before, she noticed. "Is that all I mean to you? Familiar? After everything we've been through? After everything we've been through, I think you might think you're lucky. I was told that Oscar still has tinnitus." She sighed again. "We will be present in each other's lives, even on holidays with children and grandchildren and all that. Can't you forgive me?" "I have forgiven you, Miriam. I couldn't live any longer without it, but I don't know what else you want from me. I explained everything to you in my letter. I never meant to hurt you. I was not trying to end our marriage or destroy our family. I never wanted anything like this. No, you just wanted to fuck my best friend. It was not like that at all. Please understand. This is what I want. I want you to understand that I didn't do all this out of spite. It took me 3 weeks to write this letter, so you understand. I haven't read your letter." "What you said? I didn't see the point in this." Stunned, Miri stopped moving, and so did Evan. They stood in a static position. "I put my whole heart into this letter." "Maybe. But why didn't you read it? Why do I need this? As the old maps say, there are dragons there. Reading it would probably upset me, and I don't want or need that." Miri was stunned. It never occurred to her that Evan wouldn't read her letter. All her expectations depended on him understanding why she had gone back on her vows. He judged her only for her actions, without taking into account the complex context that caused them. He didn't know about her crushing guilt over her affair, how many times she tried to end him, how Oscar manipulated her emotions into sleeping with him in the beginning, and how he constantly pressured her to she returned to him within 2 years. Evan didn't know that he was her true love and that she regretted everything she did to Oscar. He should have known this. All this. "Read the letter, please." "No. Please, Ev, please. For everything we once had." "I can't." "Why?" "I don't think I'm asking too much." "I burned the letter." "Burned it? But why?" "I told you. It may have been cathartic for you, but I dealt with my anger and grief differently. But don't you want to know why I did it? What did this mean to me?" "No, it does not matter." Miriam was completely confused. Evan didn't know how empty she felt when he found them at Oscar's house, how she feared for Evan when he beat up his former best friend, hitting him in the head several times. She didn't want him to go to jail or get sued, how humiliated she was when she received divorce papers in front of her friends at the club, and how sad and lonely she felt when he moved out of their house. Trisha was in college, but Bradley was still at home, and she couldn't look at her son, a mini Evan, without despair. Evan didn't know what promises she made to be a better mother, a better wife, a better person. It is very important. You must. I'm sorry, Miriam. You and Oscar betrayed your marriage and your friendship, so I ended both. The reasons don't matter. The reasons were never important. It's enough that you did it. The song came to an end, and Evan let go of Miri's hand. He bowed his head to her in a short bow, then turned and walked back to his desk. His expression changed from neutral to radiant as he caught Katarina's gaze. Miri slowly left the dance floor. For the past 6 years, she'd been convinced that Evan was just emotionally stubborn, but he never knew her pain. I never felt her remorse, her regret. I never knew she didn't want to do it. She desperately wanted him to know that it was a terrible combination of her own insecurities and a predator masquerading as a friend who saw an opportunity and forced her to do something she never dreamed of. And she couldn't figure out how to end it on her own. It wasn't her fault. This couldn't happen. And Evan needed to know this. She looked and saw Evan talking to Kat, smiling playfully, holding hands comfortably, laughing the way she and Evan had laughed before Oscar had seduced her. It is very important. It wasn't her fault. She wasn't a bad guy. She's not like that. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.